It's almost like, a manual for how to, like, shape public opinion and get people to do what you want.
Yeah, for sure.
Our mission today, if we choose to accept it, is to really dissect this document and understand, like, what are the core pieces? How does this thing actually work?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so, like, right off the bat, the document dives into this thing about hijacking emotions.
Yeah, so like right away they're talking about, theatrics that teeter on reality, and then they say shock and awe.
Oh, wow.
And it seems like the whole point of this initial stage is to just grab people's attention, get them emotionally invested, maybe even before they start thinking about things logically.
Yeah, bypass the brain and go straight for the gut.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then it moves on to this idea of creating what they call social proof.
Mm.
When they talk about using articles and stuff, that makes people feel like they're part of some big community. Like they use phrases like, as a mother, as a father.
Yeah, yeah.
So why is this whole community thing so important in this approach?
I think it's because when you feel like you're part of a group, like you belong somewhere and people around you share your beliefs, well, you're just way more likely to accept those beliefs and even like act on them.
You want to fit in.
Yeah, totally. It's kind of like we're wired to want to fit in.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, then it gets into some, I don't know, a little creepy, talking about manipulating social media.
Yeah.
So it's all about using fake accounts and bots and things like that to push a narrative and then get people arguing with each other. They specifically say create divisive arguments.
Mm.
And they want to do all this while, and I quote, the operation is trending.
Interesting.
So why is creating all this division, all this fighting, why is that a good thing according to this document?
Well, think about it. If you can get your opponents fighting amongst themselves,
Right.
they're not going to be united enough to, like, see what's really going on. They're going to be too busy arguing with each other.
That's devious.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And then it gets even wilder. They talk about financing, street action, and unruly mobs.
Wow.
Like what, they're going to pay people to cause chaos in the streets. What's the point of that in all this?
Well, I think they're going for that visual impact, If you can get a bunch of people out there protesting or even just like making noise, it creates this impression that there's massive support for whatever you're trying to push or like that there's some kind of crisis happening.
It's all about perception.
Exactly. And that can put pressure on politicians or, just sway public opinion towards your agenda.
Yeah, it's like manufactured outrage.
Pretty much, pretty much.
Okay, then there's this whole section on intimidation tactics.
Mm.
And they talk about using like super intense threats. They give examples like, if you don't get vaccinated, you and others will die.
Yeah.
Or like, global warming will kill us all.
Fear-mongering.
Yeah, exactly. So like, what are they hoping to achieve by scaring people like this?
It's all about getting people to react without thinking. If you can make someone scared enough, they're not going to stop and weigh the evidence or think about the consequences. They're just going to do what you tell them to do.
Just react.
Yeah, just react.
Okay, and then it gets kind of interesting again. After all that fear-mongering, they talk about appealing to people's empathy.
Right, right.
And they give examples like open borders is moral. So how does appealing to empathy fit into all this manipulation?
Well, if you can frame something as a moral issue, like it's about compassion and helping people, it makes it really hard for anyone to disagree with you.
Oh, so then they look like the bad guy.
Exactly. Who wants to come out and say, no, we shouldn't be compassionate? It's a very effective way to silence opposition.
Wow, it's like psychological jujitsu or something.
Yeah, I like that. Psychological jujitsu.
Okay, so then they talk about this. It's kind of disturbing, actually. They talk about financing various media outlets to, and I'm quoting here, enforce the illusion.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting.
What does that say about how they see the role of the media in all this, in shaping what people believe?
It's pretty clear. They think that if they can control the media, they can control the narrative. They can decide what stories get told, what perspectives get heard, and they can basically create this echo chamber where everyone's just hearing the same message over and over again.
Right, so it reinforces the illusion.
Exactly. And after a while, people start to believe that the illusion is reality.
So then we get to the final part, the big reveal. They talk about using this false reality that they've created, through all this manipulation. They want to use it to influence politicians and get them to make new laws.
It's all about taking that manipulated public opinion and turning it into actual policy changes.
So putting it all together, what's the ultimate goal of this whole thing?
It's all about shaping the way people think and act in order to achieve a specific agenda.
Yeah, it's pretty scary stuff.
It is. It's really thought-provoking.
This whole deep dive into how to PSY OP, aka NDGE,
Yeah.
has been, I don't know, it's pretty unsettling, like you said. It's really made me think about all the information we're bombarded with every day, online, on TV, everywhere. And it makes you wonder, like, how much of it is genuine and how much of it is, part of some kind of operation like this.
I think it's important to be aware of these tactics, to be critical thinkers and to question everything, because knowledge is power.
Exactly. And on that note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive, but we'd love to hear your thoughts, folks. What do you think about all this? Have you seen any of these tactics being used in the real world? Let us know in the comments. And until next time, stay curious and stay skeptical.
Stay vigilant.
Stay vigilant,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You